I believe there's just one thing stopping men from going from 35% body fat, very, very overweight, to the point of having visible, clean-cut abs. Now, I've been able to deliver this style of result on numerous occasions for members inside the Gorilla Platoon. You can see here, not quite 35%, but you can see here this one was at least 30, this one was at least 30, he lost 20 kilo, he lost 20 kilo. So we've done it on numerous occasions where men have lost a lot of weight. Now, in context, this guy lost 29 kilos to get to the point of having visible, clean-cut abs. But I make this video less about tactics and more about mindset concepts to give you hope. Because, honestly, you should have the desire and the burning thing inside of you that you are going to get in shape. Like, it is your birthright to walk around this earth in absolute shape, and you are doing yourself a very big disservice really by staying fat. Now, let's understand how you got there in the first place. A fat body is actually just a reflection of a fat mind. You are really a reflection of your thoughts, therefore that turn into your habits, therefore that are showcased to the world in the form of your physical appearance. This is really the reflection of you. You can tell a lot about someone without even needing to speak to them, just by how they look, how they hold themselves, and really the shape of them in general. So we must understand that the one thing stopping you from going from 35% body fat to actually having visible abs is what goes on between your own eyes, and it's your brain. If we don't try to fix that and we just try to give you plan after plan after plan, there's a reason why those plans have not worked for you in the past and they will not work again. Because you're not fixing the root cause. You being 35% body fat is a symptom of your root cause. Your root cause is really your pessimistic, contracted, the no hope mindset to really changing. And it's understandable because the evidence you have of yourself reflects of not able to get to change the way your body looks, failure, lack of confidence, don't like the way you look. All of these things are going to cement that you will stay at 35% body fat. This is why it's hard to just change something like this off your own back. Because you will not know these style of mindset concepts, nor will you really be able to interpret and digest them, because your mindset is clearly fucked, because that's the reflection of your physique, which is obviously a shame, but this is why we make this channel. And this is why literally I make the Gorilla Platoon, because I see the potential in everyone. This is how we get such consistent results like this. If you go to our Instagram page, we produce like 2 a week for as long as I can remember. It might have been like 6 to 7 months now. And that's because I can just see what is on the other side. The reason I can see that is because, and the analogy I like to give for this is, I can see you, you are here. In fact, let's be honest. You are here, okay? I can see where you need to go, through the garden fence. Okay, so you want to go from here to here, out of the garden, and into the fucking good life. There is a path you can take. The problem is that you can't really see where you need to go, because right now your brain has been clouded with weeds. There is just fucking weeds all over your garden. And you can't really see where you need to go, what you need to do, because what do the weeds resemble? The weeds resemble your mindset. So because your mindset is completely cooked on how you would get from here to here, you make a bit of progress and then you veer off and you start following the weeds, and then before you know it, you've span around, made a bit of progress, lost a bit of progress, started this training split, fucked that one off, started a new one, started this diet plan, sacked that off, started a new one, and you're just constantly bouncing from plan to plan, food to food, training plan to training plan, and that's why you don't make any progress, because you end up having a brain full of weeds because there's so much conflicting advice on top of your already poor mindset. Now I stand here. I can see you, I can see the goal, and I can also see all of the weeds. So it's easy for me because I'm not you. A, I know how to get in shape anyway, but B, I understand your mindset and I understand how to get to the goal and how to get rid of and navigate the weeds. The weeds, how do you get rid of it and navigate the weeds? Well, if we understand that the weeds resemble your mindset and also things you have thought that to be right, what we really need to do is remove them and have one version of the truth. We need to, and this is something you've never done before, you need to be able to stick to one thing for long enough without changing it. If you're 35% body fat and think there's a secret to getting in shape, let me tell you, there is. It's called everything. Everything actually works. Every diet plan works. Every training split works. Your issue is that you are not sticking to it for long enough. If we gave you and let's say you look at it like this, we train you 3 times per week with your workouts. We give you a set meal plan with protein at 2.4 times lean mass, 20% of your calories to fats, and the rest filled with carbs. We do 20 minutes of cardio daily, and we just tell you to stick on that. You'll drop, not a problem. Like this guy literally dropped 29 kilos in 22 weeks. You'll drop, not a problem. You've got it to lose. And then when you just stick at this for long enough, you will get towards the goal. The problem is, you will have something that's going to come up and try and trip you up and off the goal. This can be family meals. This can be new training splits. This can be you had a sad day and you don't feel good about yourself, and your immediate action drill is to eat comfort food, because ultimately that's how you got out of shape. And then that's your only challenge that's going to try and throw you off the goal. So we must rectify this. We must absolutely rectify who this is and what we need to do. Now, remember at the start of the video when I said the reason you look the way you do is a reflection of your mindset, and your mindset is pessimistic. You don't believe you can achieve the goal. Your mindset is a contracted mindset rather than an optimistic mindset. You see the world in a negative view. Your mindset is one where you don't believe you can do it because you've had so much evidence to showcase that you can't. So you have what's known as a poor self-image. A self-image is how you see yourself. Now, the self-image is really the reflection of why you are so out of shape. Because you see yourself as this fat guy. You see yourself as this inconsistent person. You see yourself as this ugly human being. And because of all of these negative traits, your habits will reflect that of your mindset. So what are the habits of a fat, contracted, ugly person? They are to eat random garbage foods. They're to not exercise. Or if they do, they're to barely train at all. So the problem with this is you're constantly in this loop of your thoughts, which reflect into your habits, which then your habits are your actions that then reflect you, which then, because these are your actions, this is how it reflects you, it then feeds back into your thoughts. So you're constantly in this negative cycle of putting yourself down, because it's just, you think bad shit, you act it out, that's the reflection of it, and it just keeps going round and round and round, and that's why your self-image is that of cooked. Let alone if people are also cementing this for you, i.e. your friends expect you to be fat, your partner expects you to be inconsistent, your kids don't fucking listen to you. All of these things are cementing this, and no wonder it's so hard to change, because you've got all of this going on inside your mind. This is what we need to fix. This is what we need to change. Who wants to hear about how we're going to do that? So, the main mission I have for Inside the Gorilla Platoon is to get men really from being what I call, and all of this is called 1.0 version of you behavior. Okay, this is 1.0. This is you right now. Subhuman, like poor mindset, poor habits, poor reflection of life. It doesn't have to be this way. I make this channel because it doesn't have to be this way. I've really seen and come through the benefits of this. I want you to feel the same too, just like all these people do. Because when you get your mind right first, this is what's on the other side. But remember, the physique is really just the trophy and the resemblance of what? Your mindset, your habits, and your actions, and also obviously that feed into your thoughts. So this is why it's important you get this. Life does not have to be this way. You can change. Every human being can change, but you've got to get it right between the eyes first. You've got to get your mindset right, then your body will change. So when we speak about 1.0 behavior, we then need to understand is, well, what would the 2.0 version of me do? And the 2.0 version of you is the version of you that he's not massively ahead, but he does everything he should do where you skip it. He's up when he says he's going to get up. He's eating the clean food. He's doing his steps. He's doing his affirmations for the man he wants to become. He's journaling. He's meditating. He's saying no to bad people that are going to bring him down. He doesn't stand bullshit from people that are trying to keep him in his 1.0 character. He doesn't miss gym sessions, sleeps well, puts good food in his body, puts good information in his brain. And he does all of these basic tasks. But because he just does the basics consistently, he's able to go from A to B. Now, how is he able to go from A to B? Because we've understood for you, if we try and take you from A to B, what happens? You start moving, start moving, start moving. Oh, high rocks. I start moving, start moving, start moving. Oh, meal off plan. Start moving, start moving, start moving. Oh, family holiday. Start moving, start moving, start moving, start moving. Marathon training. Start moving, start moving, start moving, start moving. And fuck it, I'm just going to sack it all off anyway and back to A. This is what happens. Now, how do we go from A to B then? We act like we're already the guy at B. This is 2.0 behavior. So, you are not going to see you trying to get in shape. You're not trying to get a six-pack. You are already the athlete, the 2.0 version of you, human being. And when you are able to think like this, everything you do will align to this character. I've said a million times on this channel, and I will say it again, and hopefully you're a new viewer watching this. If not, everyone needs to be reminded more than they need to be told new info. As soon as you start to act like an athlete, your brain will find ways to serve that concept. So, even though you are not an athlete when you look like this, an athlete is not actually a person, it is a way of life. When you live like an athlete, you will eventually look like an athlete. When you train to be a lawyer, you will eventually be a lawyer. When you train to be a doctor, you will eventually be a doctor. When you train to be a father, you will eventually be... It doesn't really work on that concept, but you understand the point I'm making. You cannot act as you trying to get in shape. You must scrap that entirely and scrap that archetype. You are now the athlete version of you. You are now the 2.0 version of you. And the 2.0 version of you can come down to the most specific and minute things that are not even to do with dieting. It can come down to the point where you just saw litter on the floor and you picked it up rather than walk past it, even though you didn't need to. It's not your area, it's just some random part of your city. But that's what the 2.0 version of you would do. And because you put a marble, we'll continue to draw this out. At the minute, you have 1.0 version of you, and you've got 2.0 version of you. Here we have two baskets, and we have a lever in the middle. Now, right now, it swings in the balance of the 1.0 version of you because you have put rocks, which denote habits, actions, even thoughts and mindsets, inside this basket. It's the moaning about the state of your country. It's the sinking pints at the weekend. It's the eating garbage food. It's the talking negatively about certain people. It's the gossip. It's the late nights. It's the lack of gym. It's the poor routine. It's the sleep deprivation. It's the dehydration. It's the over-caffeination. It's all of these bad traits. And you may have got some good traits. You may be a loving father. You may go to a club that you're supportive of or something. The problem is, the reason it's so hard to change is because you've got so many rocks stacked in the basket of the 1.0 version of you. So for you to try and change and become the 2.0 version of you, you've got this baggage behind. You're a father wanting to start a new family with a new woman, but you've got 3 fucking rugrats with another woman. This is the problem. You've got baggage you need to be dealing with and getting rid of. So when we're saying just follow the plan, it doesn't work because I'm trying to stick a plaster over this absolute root cause problem. What we must do is attack it at the root cause. What does that look like? Well, we must first understand, and this is going to be painful, but you need to do it. You need to sit and reflect at all the bad traits you have about yourselves. Now, I've given you a lot to go at inside this just very specific basket here. So I want you to think at the mindsets and concepts and the conversations you actually have. Do they realistically take you towards the goal, or do they take you away to the goal? There's no if, buts, or maybes. It's yes and no. Does this conversation you have this person in the pub on a weekend while sinking pints take you towards the goal, yes or no? If the answer is no, it's got to go. You've got to remove it. If you're 35% body fat, this is a fucking emergency. Nothing is more important in your life right now than reducing your body fat to a healthy level. You are so fucking estrogenic. Your T will be so crushed. Your drive will be in the absolute bin. And when you look in the mirror, you'll probably be part sick. It is a fucking emergency that you are to remove this body fat. Nothing else. Nothing else is more important than this. If you're 35% body fat, for goodness sake, have some self-respect and remove this, because this will change your life once you do it. So if you're off thinking, but I like that friend, it's kind of like nice, so we just sip pints and we watch Man United at the weekend, it's like, who gives a fuck? Realistically, who cares? Like, if he's not taking you towards your goal and you don't want to be 35% body fat, which you probably don't, or you wouldn't have watched this video 16 minutes deep, realistically, you know he's got to go. Like, realistically, if you don't watch your football team, who gives a fuck? Like, they don't know you. They don't care about you. I do. I care about seeing you go from 35% body fat to 10% because I know your life will change. Not just because of the six-pack, because of the man you needed to become to go and get the six-pack. That's why your life will change. So you need to look at everything and be absolutely ruthless. It's the equivalent of clearing out your wardrobe and thinking, do I really wear that? And imagine we could put the amount of days it has been since you wore that piece of clothing. Imagine that was sat on the outfit. And if it went past a certain amount of days, you had to bin it. That's how ruthless you've got to be with what's happening here. You need to ask yourself, is the food I'm putting in my body aligned with how the 2.0 version of me would want to live? Is there micronutrients inside my food, or is it just garbage? Is it just causing me to be inflamed? Because a lot of you just eat processed foods full of seed oils that cause high inflammation. You need to be eating nutrient-dense foods that take you towards your goals. Is the routine I have for my life, do I even have a routine, first and foremost? Probably not. So straight away, as a hard action step, you need to create a routine for your life. Am I actually going out and getting fresh air and moving my body for 10,000 steps a day? No. So I need to do that. Is what I watch on TV good for me? Probably not. Probably not. You would be better off, honestly, just staying away from everything than trying to find new stuff, because you'll end up finding stuff and it'll just take you away from the goal. You're the type of person that if you've got to the shape you're in are probably quite erratic and probably quite inconsistent. So you trying to go and establish new info probably won't serve you. The only thing I would say you could do is just listen to maybe some motivational stuff. That is literally it. But do not be going to find new fitness videos. Do not be watching the news. Do not be watching brain rot content and all that garbage. You need less inside your mind for the concept I gave here about the weeds. You've got so many things distracting you and you feel fatigued because of it. Just simply focus on getting in shape. Just simply focus on whatever work it is you're doing and establishing a good routine. So we need to start acting like the 2.0 version of you. The 2.0 version of you is going to stack rocks like goes to bed at the same time, gets up at the same time. 8 hours is important, but I would rather you were consistent at the time you got up and went to bed, whatever that looks and feels like. When he wakes up, he weighs himself every day, so he's accountable to the plan that he's on. Once he's weighed himself, he has a litre of water with some electrolytes in, so he's hydrated. Then he can have one coffee, not fucking 7, just one, because you don't need more than that because you slept well, you've hydrated, you're in a good space. You've got a little bit of sunlight in your eyes. Great. You've moved your body, you've done 4 or 5K steps, nothing crazy. You've gone to work and you feel much better about yourself because you've got more energy, you're more happy. And you have one good conversation with someone, take an interest in them and actually be sound to someone. Even if they're not taking you towards your goals, just a quick conversation, get the fucking how to win friends and influence benefit from them, and then move on with your day. You go to the gym just 3 times a week. I don't want you to try any more, I just want you to do 3. Why? Because you'll be more consistent at that. You'll be consistent at going to the gym 3 times per week, doing 10,000 steps. You have prepped your food. It's in Tupperwares. There's nothing else in the house. There's no other food. There's nothing else you can eat. There's just your meal plan. You should be able to open the fridge and all that is in there is the single ingredient foods that are going into your meal plan. And you stick to the same meal plan every day. Why? Because food is fuel. Food is there to help set you up. If you keep want to eat random garbage foods or not even garbage, you want to eat random new foods to your diet that your body isn't that used to, what are you going to get? You're going to get inconsistent output. You might get a bit of bloating. You might get a bit of brain fog. Even if these are not good foods, you might get this. What you want to do is establish your meal plan. I've done many videos on meal plan. You can go and check them out. But establish what works well for you, what you can be consistent at, and what makes you feel good. Your body is a machine, because you are an athlete. Put in the food and the fuel that is going to make you operate like one. Do not be going out eating for taste. That is weak level behavior. Oh, it needs to taste nice. No, it doesn't need to taste nice. It just needs to be tolerable. It doesn't need to be like rancid. I'm not telling you to do that because you won't be consistent at it. But it doesn't need to be like, oh, this is really lovely and palatable. The more palatable a food is, the harder it is to stop eating it. Hence why seed oils are just absolute, like you can run through like hundreds upon hundreds of calories worth of them because they are set up in that way and they inflame you to death and they lower your T. So you don't want to be eating those. You just want to stick to the same meal plan. Find the foods that you enjoy and like, but are not tasteful. It's just fuel. You're eating basic, like I enjoy red meat, done, simple. I enjoy eggs, done. I enjoy spinach, done. It's not amazing, but it's nice enough. You want that inside your meal plan because you'll be consistent at it. Now, you also, as the 2.0 version of you, want to live a mind of optimism. I am one of the most optimistic people you will ever meet. Sometimes maybe even too naive, I'm not optimistic. But I just generally believe things will always work out. Why? Why do I have this mindset? Well, I have this mindset because I always turn up and do the work. Look how many videos I've filmed every day since the 29th of January 2024. That will close in on nearly 2 years. So I always turn up and do the work. I always make sure my members inside my community are checked in with their feedback, ready for their response. I always do my training. And then I always do my back-end self-improvement, reading and all that good stuff as well. I always do the work. So because I always do the work, I have that certainty, that warm, fuzzy feeling inside me that things will work out because I'm willing to work hard for whatever it is that's going to come my way. You want to have the same. You want to be that of an optimist. You want to generally believe it's absolutely doable to get to 10% body fat because if it's been done by another man, it can be done by you because he has a physical body just like you. So, and again, what is it that needs to just fix first? What goes on between the eyes? When you fix what goes on between the eyes, that's when you're able to get in great shape. So the reason you're not in shape is because you're acting like the 1.0 version of you. We must remove the rocks inside this basket of the 1.0 version of you, which is easy to do. It's so easy to look at the things you're doing badly and to stop doing them because you're physically doing less. Then we can start to add in, and it doesn't need to happen rapid. You can just start by doing the first 3 things I mentioned every day and build those up so you can get some consistency on the board and you can develop what? Integrity with yourself, which means when you say you're going to do something, you get it done. You don't miss, you get it done. And when you build up integrity with yourself just for doing the basics, get up at the same time, go to bed at the same time, weigh yourself, 1 liter of water, 5,000 steps a day, then we can start to layer it. Okay, let's do 10,000 steps a day. Okay, let's do the gym 3 times a week. Okay, let's meditate. All of these things are going to then be able to be stacked because you have integrity with yourself. That's 2.0 behavior. One thing I always make my members do is when they join, I say, you need to produce the document of how to become the 2.0 version. If it's a whole specific lecture inside our community, and they'll produce that document. Now, it's obviously like, what do they want to look like? And then once you've seen what they want to look like, obviously they want to be pretty jacked, with jacked up legs, jacked up arms, with a 6-pack. They then need to think, well, what would the characteristics be of this individual? What are his character traits? Well, he is going to be a man that is consistent, he is disciplined, he is resilient, i.e. when things don't go his way, he still gets the work done because you're going to have days like that. He has self-respect, which a lot of you need to develop, and he also has integrity for himself. Now, when you've got these character traits, you then need to think, well, how do I need to act within a given 24-hour period? So it's very simple. It's how would the 2.0 version of you act for 24 hours? And what you're going to do to execute on that is you're going to have a timetable. Very, very simple. A timetable, which is wakes up at this time, does this, does this, does this. Really everything I've just spoken about here. So you're going to think, how would he live for 24 hours? He'd also put in a good chunk for rest. He would work for X amount of time. He would do the gym for X amount of time. If it was a gym day, he might do cardio. And he would create a timetable of how he needs to act within a 24-hour period, because you only can control 24 hours anyway. And you're going to stack days of this, which are also going to be known as marbles or rocks in the basket of the 2.0 version of you. If you have a day where you fall off, it's not a streak. It's not like you've gone, we're on, 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 we're off. Back to day one, we're on, we're on, we're on, we're off. No, it's not like that. It's you've stacked marbles, but if you have a day off, guess what? 1.0 behavior. You have another day off, 1.0 behavior. You're having too many days off, 1.0 behavior becomes just who you are. Another concept I use for the concept of discipline, which I want to teach you, is there is two versions of you. You have normal you with a fucking 2-inch cock, and you have what is known as the goblin version of you with fucking head horns and weird legs. Now he is trying to chase you. You are trying to run away from this guy. Because if he becomes you, this is how you got here in the first place. Because you are acting like a subhuman goblin, and this is how you got here. So we must understand we've got to leave this version of you. So you are both on this race. He is trying to chase after you. You are trying to run away from him. You can always stay away. He is never able to catch you as long as you do the discipline for a day. You're both moving forward, but because you've done the discipline, he cannot close the gap. Perfect. Now, if you keep doing the disciplines, he can never close the gap. But because time is going on, what's happening to him? He's getting tired and he's getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and you're getting further and further away, and there's very little chance you're ever going to act like that goblin version of you because you've done the daily disciplines consistently. However, if you don't do the disciplines, he is going to move one pace forward and you're going to stay where you are. You don't do the discipline again, he moves one pace forward, you're going to stay where you are. Until eventually he catches up to you and becomes you. So you must do the discipline, because otherwise you know what that poor goblin version of you is like. We all do. We all know what the worst version of us is like. And the only way to not be that version of you is to do the daily disciplines. So I'm telling you this out of fear that like how bad your life is going to be if you don't do the disciplines, and why it's just a non-negotiable. I'm not going to motivate you. You're not getting a carrot on this one. You're just solely getting the stick. Don't do the disciplines, become a goblin, do the disciplines, and you never will, and you'll be able to do what you need to do within a day. So these are the concepts I wanted to give you inside today's video. The one thing stopping you from getting from 35% body fat to abs is what goes on between the eyes. It's your mindset, and we fix your mindset by going from the 1.0 to the 2.0 version of you through the concepts we've spoke about, by de-weeding the brain, setting one plan and sticking to it for long enough, by understanding that you're not going to act like the 1.0 version of you because of the thoughts that go on into your habits, into your actions. Instead, you're going to act like the 2.0 version of you who is already at B. 2.0 version of you is already at the goal you want. So you're going to reverse engineer from being at this goal to where you are now and acting like this man through a series of tasks and lists. We understand you've got emotional baggage. Well, you've just got general mindset baggage, and it's why you are the way you are today. We've got to remove those and be ruthless about it. And we've got to stack new rocks in the 2.0 version of you, which is going to come from this. Understanding our character traits of who this version of us needs to be, and understanding that's what's going to develop our, develop our integrity through these rocks, and then understanding how to stay disciplined over the long term. If you found this video of value, great, subscribe to the channel. I always like to deliver mindset concepts. This is why we're different. We're at the Gorilla Platoon. We get the results that you all want but I deliver the information to you in a different way because this is what actually works. How do I know this? Because we've got so many results since we started to a very good standard. So that's how I know this sort of stuff works, rather than just telling you 3 exercises to grow your bicep, because you already know those, but you're not sticking to them. Why? Because you don't know these concepts. So if you want to join the Gorilla Platoon, there'll be a link in the description. Come and join us on the inside. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you tomorrow.